Welcome to the Permanent Record Podcast, 007 Mini Broadcast. A quick, concise discussion on the music of James Bond. From 1962 up through today, we'll cover it all. Unless Spectre gets to us first.
So welcome everybody to our first podcast of the new year, 2021.
Wow, 2021.
Who would have thought we'd make it here?
It was sketchy. It was kind of iffy at some points.
It was, but we are here and we are going to start off the year doing something a little fun, something that I was real excited to do because, it's always kind of hard to get back into the groove after an extended holiday break, but something that makes it easier is when you're going to do something that you're looking forward to.
Oh, yeah.
I'm on record. I love James Bond.
Really?
We've been doing these little podcasts and we've worked our way up to Thunderball, which is a film and a song that I really enjoy. And we have a friend that we met last year, an author of note. He is responsible for the hilarious book, Quantum of Silliness, The Peculiar World of Bond, James Bond, that I hope you all found in your Christmas sock this year. And if you didn't, you can still get the book on Amazon or, any book vendor, really, because it's a wide release all around the world. Of course, I'm talking about Mr. Robbie Sims. We're happy to have him join us again. Robbie, can you hear me?
I can. Hello, Brian. Hello, Sarah.
Hi there.
How are you?
Glad to have you on.
Thank you for having me back.
Thanks for making time in your schedule to talk some Thunderball. We've been talking about these theme songs, once or twice a year, just because we're really an 80s podcast, 80s music podcast. But I just like talking about Bond. And I thought it would be great to get you back to see what you think about Thunderball, because I sort of think that our opinions on this are going to differ based on the little information I got from you online as we prep for the show. But that's cool. It should lead to some good discussion, I hope.
Yeah, we can have a meeting in the middle, hopefully, not come to anything else.
That's right.
I like it.
So we're talking about the theme song from the 1965 Bond movie Thunderball. And we don't normally do this, but because we have Robbie here, I just want to start off by talking a little bit about the movie and just find out what we all think about it.
Sounds very good.
So, Robbie, you just revisited this one, right?
I did, yeah. I sort of christened my new TV with it, mainly because I knew I was coming on to talk about it, and I don't need much of an excuse to rewatch a Bond film. But I've got to say, I did a very self-indulgent sort of ranking of my films on Twitter over Christmas, and this one didn't performed particularly well. It came towards the bottom of the pack for me, Thunderball, as a film, which we can get into the problems I have with it as we talk, but it is a classic. I mean, there's no doubting we're at the peak of Bond mania here, coming off the back of Goldfinger. It's got a lot of the right ingredients, and it's certainly held in great esteem by a lot of cinema people and Bond aficionados in particularly.
Yeah, you're right. This is actually probably like as popular as Bond is ever going to be, right?
Yeah, I don't know. I think in terms of box office performance, it's one of the best if you sort of, take inflation into account. More people bought a ticket to see Thunderball than pretty much any other Bond film that's ever been. So it really did ride the wave of Bond mania that was kind of happening. It was kind of tied up in the 60s and Beatlemania and all that other stuff. Britain was suddenly quite a cool thing to export, and Bond was tied up in all that as well. All they had to do was recreate the magic that Goldfinger had. They were onto a winner. They just had to sort of recreate that formula again, which they did to mixed success, I would say.
This is the first time when you study the Bond films that you see some division between the fans. That this is actually, I think, like the first divisive Bond film that didn't please everybody.
Yeah,
I think so true. Too.
And, personally, I really enjoy this one. I understand a lot of the complaints about the movie getting slowed down by those underwater sequences. But I guess it's difficult for us at this point in time because we can see anything in movies. We can see outer space battles. We can see Gandalf fighting a Balrog in the Mines of Moria. That was not something that people really had seen to any great extent. So it must have been exciting to them.
Right. Yeah.
I mean, I think the underwater filming was pretty pioneering, and to stage an entire battle between two armies underwater, I'm guessing was a pretty amazing technical feat, and also would have blown people away if they saw that in the cinema in 65. They'd never seen anything like it.
Yeah, I think that's true. That is, I think, one of the problems that a lot of people have with the movie. The underwater sequences, they get a little boring and honestly a little hard to follow sometimes.
Yeah.
And it's sort of surprising when you think about it, because Peter Hunt was the editor and he has done such a great job so far. He's very innovative in his editing style. And he, is known for cutting out things that we didn't need. And yet we have these really long underwater sequences. So it's sort of like, what happened here?
Yeah, I guess that choppy style that he was developing just doesn't work underwater. Like you're saying, it's quite confusing to work out who's who, where everyone's got their wetsuits and their goggles on. So adding in that kind of choppy editing style would have made it more confusing, maybe. But as a result, we have this more slowly paced kind of scene going on, which does bog down the film a little bit in terms of pacing. But hey, it's men fighting underwater. That's still exciting.
Right.
It is exciting, and luckily for us, they pretty much have color coordinated their underwater diving suits, so we know the bad guys are all in the same color and the good guys are all in one color.
Yeah,
and then
exactly.
I haven't seen this since November, but doesn't Bond wear? He has either a different color or a different color jetpack.
Well,
right?
he doesn't have any trousers on. He's got bare legs, I believe, and the rest of the guys on his team are wearing full wetsuits.
Yeah, okay. I know for the final battle, he's got this super duper kind of white scuba diving jetpack on the back of him, which looks so cumbersome. There's no way.
I don't know how you could
sink straight to the bottom of the sea.
Right.
He's constantly in this movie strapping on things that are completely unwieldy, like that jetpack that he uses.
Yeah,
like he puts on a jetpack in the beginning of the movie to basically travel about 50 yards, and then he puts on this giant underwater unit thing for the conclusion. But it's all cool because then they could sell toys of it.
Oh yeah.
Even with the movie being slowed down by some of these underwater scenes, I think there's a lot of good stuff in this movie. And the two things that I really like the most out of everything is I think this is one of the most dramatic soundtracks in the whole series. It's not my favorite soundtrack, but I think it's very dramatic. I also think that this is the best group of leading ladies in any Bond adventure ever. Claudia Auger, Luciana Paluzzi, Martine Beswick, and even Molly Peters in a really small role. I think they're all breathtakingly beautiful and extraordinarily effective in the movie. And I apologize if I mangled any of their names. I tried my best. But what do you guys think about the cast in this one? It's a very international cast, I think. There's a lot of, what do they call it, Robbie, when you put the dialogue in afterwards?
The overdubbing. Yeah.
Yeah, there's a lot of that going on. But I still think the actors involved do a great job.
Oh, yeah. I agree with you about the female cast. I think it's the most beautiful selection of Bond ladies probably in any of the films. And each character has a character. They're not just there for set dressing. Even as you say, Molly Peters, who has a small role as the nurse at the beginning, but she still has, a bit of development, I like to think.
Yeah.
Yeah. And I thought it was kind of cool when you go back and read some of the Bond books and learn the history of this film. She was pretty actively involved with promoting this movie. She made a lot of appearances and she was a good Bond ambassador.
I guess it's a language thing. Maybe it was such an international cast, as you say, that maybe her language skills, just being an English actress, it was easier for her to field questions from the press.
Excellent
that could be a thing. I know that the villain, Largo, played by Adolphe Celli. Have I said that right? Never had to say that out loud. He's I would guess Italian, and as you said, a lot of the ladies in this one are international. So maybe they wanted an English person to field the press.
That's a great point. Speaking of Largo, I think he has one of the best introductions of any Bond villain. In that first scene where we see him, he's illegally parking his car, and the policeman says hey, you can't park here, and then he's like, oh, I'm sorry, I didn't mean to pick that up. I love that the number 2 Spectre agent is using his evil powers to just park illegally.
Yeah.
And that leads us into one of my favorite scenes in the film, which is the Spectre boardroom.
Oh, yeah.
Quintessential Bond stuff. Austin Powers ripped it off to good effect. That's incredibly strong 60s iconography, the whole of that scene with the Spectre boardroom, electrocuting one of them because he's might have been embezzling funds. It's really good.
That is awesome.
Oh yeah, it is classic. And of course the Ken Adams set, just spectacular. He does such a wonderful job of establishing the villain persona, the villain's lair, and all of that stuff. It's just so classic. I love it.
Can I also say about the movie, another thing about the cast, either this film or On Her Majesty's Secret Service is my favorite overall cast. And I'm willing to give Thunderball the edge because of the presence of Rick Van Nutter, who is so bad as Felix Leiter that over the years, I've come to love him.
Okay.
I seriously love that guy, but he's terrible.
I love his name. Just for the name alone, I'm on board.
I wish he would have gone with the nickname Dick, though.
Dick Van Nutter.
Yeah.
If you just see him, if someone shows you a still from the movie, I think you would be like, oh, you know what? That's actually a pretty good guy to fill the void left by Jack Lord in the first movie. They get away from that image for a while. And then we get back to him and he's like, oh, he looks young and cool and stuff. But then he's just so inept with his line delivery. And he just basically just repeats whatever James Bond says right before him, or he just agrees. You're right, James, we haven't.
Yeah. I think that's definitely an effect of it being a British film, making the American guy not seem as bright and helpful as James Bond, the British agent.
I think he's kind of, excuse my language here, but he's kind of James Bond's bitch in this film. James just really orders him around. They're flying the helicopter over the sea, and he's kind of, take her down, get her up, get me in there. And Rick's just like, yeah, okay, yes, Bond. He's obviously got a huge cross so it's fine. But it feels like, let's calm down with the bossing people around Bond, you know.
Another thing about this movie that I really love is that it sort of starts a tradition that is going to show up a few times over the years in Bond movies. It will give us a machine that has absolutely no safety features with it that you can manually set to kill somebody. If you know what I mean, like when Bond is in the shrubland spa, there's a machine that stretches out your back.
Oh yeah.
However, there's also a setting on it that can possibly kill you because Bond is in the machine. The bad guy comes in, turns up the setting, and he's in tons of pain. And Molly Peters comes in and she's like, "Oh, you could have been killed." Why was the machine made with a setting that could actually kill you? We're going to see it again in Moonraker with the centrifuge thing. That could almost kill Roger Moore. I just love the idea that there was a time when industry was producing products that if you're not careful, you'll die.
There's got to be a death setting. You need a death setting.
This one goes to 11. It really shouldn't, but it does.
What even is that machine? I've never seen a spinal machine like that in real life. It looks like it was designed just for the point of the film.
Yeah, I actually was on something like that. Very much subdued version of that, but I had some back issues a while back, and I had to be on this table with a strap to this thing that did kind of try to extend and stretch the spine. It is a real thing. I can tell you from personal experience. Thankfully, no one ever set it up that high when I was on it.
Too funny. Another thing that we noticed in our November viewing of this film that we never saw before.
Yeah.
And then we saw it again in a Roger Moore movie.
No, I have the information.
Tell us about it then, Sarah.
So this amused us greatly when I first saw this just a couple months ago on the atomic bombs, on the missiles, when they were underwater, putting them away carefully. I saw the message on them that said, "Handle like eggs." And I pointed it out to Brian and he was like, "What?" Which, I mean, it makes sense. Yeah, you should probably handle an atomic bomb like you handle an egg. You don't want to drop it. You don't want to. And it is real, too. That's something that they would put on military technology.
Really?
Yeah, it was I checked it out. Really? And it is a phrase that was used in real life on military technology. So they didn't make that up.
That handle like eggs thing pops up in another Bond film.
It does.
As you might have been mentioning.
Yeah. And
so in The Living Daylights as well, there's a heart transplant box with a sort of heart being transplanted and flown somewhere. So I think that says handle like eggs on the side of it as well.
It does indeed.
Oh, wow. You guys have good memories. I was thinking it was a Roger Moore one.
I thought so too. At first, I thought it was in For Your Eyes Only because there's bombs on that one. But it was The Living Daylights. It was the human heart, the fake human heart.
Yeah.
That had all the diamonds in it, right?
Yep.
I mean, Bond cooks a quiche in A View to a Kill. So he's definitely handling that like an egg.
Nice.
A baked egg.
Does anyone have any other points about the movie they want to bring up?
No, I could talk about eggs till the cows come home.
Until the chickens come home.
As I say, it's not one of my favorites, but it has a lot of the composite parts that do make a classic Bond film. You can't fault it for having the John Barry sound, B, Sean's in it. It's still got a lot of that 60s kind of swagger that a lot of people look to or think about when they think of the early Bond films. And it's got that going for it. Sean looks amazing. He gets to spend a lot of the time just in his swimming shorts, looking great, as do the whole cast. I mean, there's a reason why they've selected such beautiful people, because most of the film is happening on beaches in bikinis or in skimpy shorts. And everyone looks amazing.
Yeah, and it's in Panavision too, so it's even better.
Yeah, beautiful.
There's probably an awesome 1 hour and 58-minute movie in there. You know, they could have maybe edited it a little bit and people would have been a little happier, but I still really like it. Over the holiday season, I forget who this was. You might know, Robbie, one of the folks on Bond Twitter asked everybody to submit their ranking of the films, and he or she collected them and is letting us know how things finished. So when I did my ranking of the films, I put this one at number 10.
Oh, wow.
Nice.
Do you happen to know off the top of your head where you ranked this one?
Fourth from bottom. So yeah, I wasn't faring so well with me.
Like 20 then.
Yeah, the least favorite of the Seans, I would say.
Better Make That 2 is his name.
There you go.
View to a Trill. Right. Yeah, so Thunderball is, he has it at number 16.
Oh.
Okay. So that's still pretty low in the grand scheme of things.
It's almost right between the two of you. 10, 20. He has it 16. Interesting.
Yep. So this was the second least popular film starring Sean Connery. And adjusted
But like
box
if-
office ranking, it is the number 2 Bond.
Oh, is it?
Yep.
Okay.
He always runs while others walk. He acts while other men just talk. He looks at this world and wants it all. So he strikes like thunderbolt.
All right, so let's take a look and a listen to the theme song here for this film.
All right.
This song, cleverly titled Thunderball, was released at the end of 1965, December of 1965, and it peaked at number 25 here in the US the week of January 22nd. In the UK, Robbie, you guys only liked it enough to take it to number 35.
Oh dear.
So
what I would say about our charting, you mustn't base anything on the British charts, because I know that Diamonds Are Forever, which has got to be one of the best theme songs, that only got to number 38 over here. Sam Smith with Writing on the Wall, that got to number 1.
oh my
So
God.
I don't know. I don't know what's going on over here, frankly, with the charts. But I wouldn't take
Yeah.
it as a barometer of quality.
So it did
Ah.
all right in America. It did pretty well in the United Kingdom, but it actually did better in Canada and Belgium than it did in those two countries. It got to number 10
Oh.
in Canada. And in Belgium, they loved it. It was number 6.
Whoa, that's cool.
Oh.
Yeah,
Bless them. Yeah.
I know. Pretty cool.
So by way of comparison, Goldfinger had reached number 8 in the US and number 21 in the UK. So you see it's a little
Okay.
bit of a drop off in each place.
All right.
And the song was written, of course, by the same composer as Goldfinger, John Barry.
Right.
And this time the lyrics are by Don Black, who was Matt Monroe's manager, who had sort of turned his hand to writing song lyrics. And they're going to
Uh-huh.
collaborate. We'll find out how they get together. And the song, of course, guys, is sung by Thomas John Woodward.
Thomas John Woodward.
That is Sir Tom Jones's real name. Much like the film itself, this song is going to find itself the target of some legal action, which we'll talk about as we get near the end of the story of the music here. But I'm really excited to talk about Thunderball. I hope you guys are excited too.
Oh, yeah.
I just have a review to start off. Do either of you guys have any reviews for the song?
No, but I can tell you the first time that Tom Jones ever sang it on TV,
Oh, when was that?
December 5th, 1965. It was actually before the song appeared on the charts. It appeared on the Billboard chart on December 11th.
Little sneak peek right there.
Exactly.
Do you know what program he was on?
Oh, yes, I do. It was the Ed Sullivan Show on a Sunday night. It was the 4th time he'd appeared that year. He was on that
Wow.
show all year because it was like his year. 65 was, the year of It's Not Unusual. So that was his breakthrough.
And What's New Pussycat, I think, was that year.
I think you're right. Yeah. So he showed up on December 5th, sang the song, made it onto the Billboard charts just a few days later.
Interesting. I went looking for a review for it. I only found one that I wrote down. I did find some little, everybody ranks things. So at the time of Skyfall's release, Rolling Stone ranked all the James Bond songs, and they put Thunderball at number 10. In 2020, Consequence of Sound did the same thing. They put it at number 9. And NPR, National Public Radio,
Oh,
here in the US, they ranked it at number 4,
wow.
which I was shocked to see. But then I was even more shocked to see that it came in at number 4, right below Aha, The Living Daylights at number 3.
No kidding.
Yeah. So as an 80s fan, I was happy to see that
Oh, I'm thrilled about that.
because Aha does not get the love they deserve here in the US.
Indeed.
But that's for another time. The one review I found is from a website called Soundtrack Universe. They gave the whole entire film score a 5 out of 5. And they said about the title song, the song is sung with appropriate manly swagger by Welsh singer Tom Jones and features lyrics by Don Black that deliver a somewhat confused look at the personalities of both Bond and Largo without making any distinction between the two. So when we get to the writing of the song, I want to come back to that and talk about that sentence right there with you guys and see if you buy into that. I'm not sure I'm convinced that the song is going back and forth between Bond and Largo.
Okay. Yeah, I have some thoughts on that for sure.
So let's talk about how we got to Thunderball, because it is kind of a weird path
Yeah.
to end up with this song, right? I think after Goldfinger, you guys will both agree this job was John Barry's to say yay or nay to. I mean, they pretty much had to go with John Barry because of how successful he had been. And
Right. He was in charge here. He was the guy.
If you want to reduplicate the success of Goldfinger, it makes perfect sense to go back to that team of people, including John, who definitely did an amazing job with Goldfinger. So yeah, why would you not hire him again?
so true. And he was getting a lot of publicity for other things in between the Bond films, other soundtracks that the media were seeing as very innovative. He was getting a lot of hype and he brought that to the film with him. And as he was getting psyched to start work on Thunderball, fate plays a role here, and he reads an article that mentions that in Italy, Bond is referred to as Mr. Kiss Kiss Bang Bang. And I'm glad that he read that article because it results in a song that I really like, but it kicks off a chain of events that is just so insane. Maybe it would have been better if he hadn't read it.
Oh, no.
I mean, it's a great, just the term Mr. Kiss Kiss Bang Bang, it is quite lyrical already. And I'm not surprised it set off bells in his head. This is definitely would be a great title for a song. But yeah, as you're saying, the producers weren't happy to not have Thunderball itself be the title of the song. I guess for marketing reasons, United Artists really wanted Thunderball to be the name of the song as well as the film.
Right. And unfortunately, they didn't make that point obvious from the very beginning. John Barry talks to Broccoli and Saltzman and says, hey, Thunderball was the most horrendous title for a song that I've ever heard. And he asks, can I come up with a song using this title? And he's told at that point, yeah, go ahead and do it. And you're right. It is UA that eventually puts the stops to it. But Broccoli and Saltzman actually signed off on it. So he begins to write that song, Mr. Kiss Kiss Bang Bang. And he also starts to incorporate the music of it into the score of the movie.
Yeah, it's laced throughout the film. And there's even a scene where he goes to a club called the Kiss Kiss Club, where they have a sort of a bongo-y calypso version of it, which is very fun.
Yeah, I like that one.
I'm sad. I'm going to go on record as saying I'm sad that they didn't use this song. I think it's 10 times better than the Tom Jones song that we ended up with, especially with Dionne Warwick did a vocal for Mr. Kiss Kiss Bang Bang, which I think is really strong.
He's suave and he's smooth and he can soothe you like vanilla. The gentleman's a killer, Mr. Kiss Kiss Bang Bang. Demoiselles and danger have filled the stranger's past. Like a knife, he cuts through life like every day.
We should say, when we're talking about Dionne Warwick, yes, we are talking about the very recent Twitter sensation, Miss Dionne Warwick. That is who we're talking about.
Yeah, she's on Twitter now and
And it is her. I was skeptical that it's some grandchild or something having fun with us, but it does seem to actually be Dionne, so that's pretty legendary.
I know, it's pretty cool.
Yeah, she's still feeling her way through, I believe, but it's delightful.
And if you read the story of this song on Wikipedia, they say that Shirley Bassey sang it first and that Dionne Warwick sang it second. But according to my Bond Music Bible, The Music of James Bond by John Burlingame, Dionne Warwick actually sang it first.
Interesting. I know that Shirley started legal proceedings, didn't she, when she found out that somebody else was singing it and it wasn't her?
According to the book, we'll get to this, her legal proceedings aren't really because of someone else singing it. It's because it gets cut from the movie.
I see. Yeah.
According to Burlingame. So once he gets back and he starts working on the song, Mr. Kiss Kiss Bang Bang, he reaches out to his Goldfinger partner, Leslie Bricusse, to co-write the song with him again. Bricusse said, I love that tune. I think that there's an excitement in jazz waltzes, and the fact that it was jazzy suited the character of the man.
Yeah, it's got a swagger to it. I think that's why Mr. Kiss Kiss Bang Bang is specifically talking lyrically about Bond. The sound of the song as well it's kind of got that swagger that Bond has. It's quite confident, it's quite laid back, quite sexy. It's good. It's good at hitting the target of what Bond should be, and that's why I'm sad that they didn't use it in the end.
I'm not sad that it didn't serve as the main theme. I really like Thunderball, but I am sad it just has never been used anywhere. It actually sat for decades before it was even released. It didn't come out until that 30th anniversary CD from the 90s.
Right.
That was the first time it was actually officially released. It's a waste of a good song.
Oh, yeah. I'd rank it above a lot of proper theme songs, even that Shirley Bassey does. I'd put it above Moonraker and I'd put it above, would I put it above Goldfinger? That's a very contentious thing to say. But yeah, I think it's better than the song we got, which we'll get onto, I guess.
Like you said, this is the same songwriting team from Goldfinger. And much like with Goldfinger, Bricusse never saw the film or read the script before writing the lyrics, but he said he found it very easy to come up with the words. And he said part of that was just attributed to John Barry, who he says is one of the few film composers who was also a really good songwriter, which first blew my mind. I read that and I sat there and thought about it for a while. And I was like, how could that be true? But I do kind of understand it. I guess it's X number of people can come up with very good, effective music to fit a particular scene that you're watching. But can that person then, the next day sit down and write a truly wonderful song that works outside of the context of the movie? And of course, John Barry, we all know, is more than capable of that.
You know, it was probably not a big deal that Leslie Bricusse didn't see the movie or know too much about the plot for this particular song, because they were singing about James Bond and not really the movie. And we've had, you know, several James Bond films at this point. So we already know, and of course, all the books, we know what he is about. And so to write lyrics about James Bond wasn't probably a big challenge.
And that's a trick that we're going to get many times. Like Nobody Does It Better is about James Bond.
Right.
And it's a trick that works really, really well when it's done properly.
Right.
So work begins on that song, and then Barry takes 3 months off to work on a stage musical called Passion Flower Hotel, which I never heard of before. I didn't know that, so I just wrote it down. And then he comes back in September to begin working on the Bond score in full force. And this is the point when he realizes that because much of the film takes place underwater, he needs to somehow change the sound of his music to make those scenes sound different. When you guys watch this movie, I think he's really successful with that. Don't you guys think?
Yeah, absolutely. There's a sort of a repeated refrain which kind of goes ad nauseum, it must be said, but it's very good at sort of portraying the idea that you're underwater. It's got a kind of hypnotic,
it's like a wave,
swirling,
you know, a kind of a slow wave to it, and just very, I don't know, I don't want to say soothing, but just very kind of floaty kind of a sound to it.
No, it I can see that if you were going to pictorially represent that melody line, it would be like a wave.
Yeah, but not a harsh, sharp one, but, you know, a very smooth and flowing kind of wave, like what you would find under the water and not on the top.
Yeah, I think it works really well. Totally stuck in my head now that you hummed it, Robbie. I'm singing it to myself.
Oh, it's been stuck in my head since last night when I watched it. So yeah.
On a technical level, he achieves this by just dropping the bass out of the music when they're underwater. He focuses on things like harps, flutes, and strings.
Yeah, some of those high-pitched things kind of help represent like bubbles and things like that, I think.
Right, and he said that a bass functions to root the music. When you swim underwater, you're not rooted to anything, and that's why he dropped it out.
So clever.
Yeah, these creative people are just really intelligent. As he's working on that, they go into the studio, and the first song to be recorded is Mr. Kiss Kiss Bang Bang with Dionne Warwick. So let me ask you this, Robbie. I know you're a youngish guy, and you're not going to remember
That's
when
very
Dionne...
kind of you to say so.
You're not really going to have any memory of when Dionne Warwick was on the charts in the UK. But at the time, 1964, she had 3 songs in the top 10 in the UK. 2 of them were #1 songs, Walk On By and Reach Out To Me. Did those songs stand the test of time? Like, are those songs that you might still hear like on an oldie station or that gets airplay?
Absolutely, yeah. Walk On By is like an absolute standard, so you'd hear that all the time. What was the other one called?
Reach Out To Me.
That's not one I know of, which doesn't mean to say it's not big over here, but it's not one that crossed onto my radar.
Yeah, okay. I don't know that one either. I know Walk On By for sure.
I don't really know it. Basically, my history with Dionne Warwick starts when she became the host of Solid Gold.
Oh, good grief.
In the 80s, Sarah.
Oh, man. That's crazy.
But that year, here in the U.S., Cashbox Magazine named her the best-selling female artist of the year.
Oh, wow.
So that's part of the reason why they selected her. And Bricusse says years later that John made a marvelous recording with Dionne, and we were convinced that we had a big hit with this song.
I would agree. Yeah. If I'd have had that in the bag, I'd have been very confident that this was a goer, going to be another chart topper. It's in the film. So it must have been really annoying to be told from United Artists, actually, no, we don't want this. We need something that has the word Thunderball in it.
Yep. Broccoli and Saltzman reached out to him saying that, hey, we had to change our mind. UA wants a song called Thunderball. They told him that UA was insisting that a song with that title had to be released to radio. I'm not sure why it was so crucial.
I think it's probably partly a matter of sticking to the formula that they developed so well. You know, the past couple movies, the songs that were big hits, very popular, had the same name as the movie. So they did not want to mess with that. You know, they're very skeptical of the American and British movie-going public. Well, will they understand?
That's true. We here in the U.S. would not have understood License Revoked if they hadn't changed the title. We would have had no idea what that movie was about.
Not a clue.
I hear it's because that term license revoked is used a lot with driving licenses over there. Is that right? So people might have thought it was just a really lame plot about Bond having his license taken away.
Right. He'll just be walking everywhere.
Petty parking charge. Yeah.
Wasn't there, like, Sarah, around the time of License to Kill, wasn't there like a movie with Corey Haim or one of those two Corey kids called like License to Drive?
I think there might have been. That sounds familiar.
Maybe they were afraid it was going to get confused with that movie. So anyway, Barry's told, can't use that song. At this point, Leslie Bricusse was busy with his own work. So Barry reaches out to Don Black, who we mentioned earlier was Matt Monroe's manager, who had started writing song lyrics. He had co-written a song called Walk Away a year earlier, which was a big hit. And Black, to his credit, well, I think Barry kind of hid from him the fact that they had a time crunch going on. I think Barry kept all that from him and just said, "Do you want to work in the song with me?" And so the guy was not under any real pressure because he was unaware of what was happening. He said that he didn't let the fact that he was being asked to write lyrics around a title that wasn't even a real word get him down.
Yeah. Did you see what he said when he got asked to do this? He said, "With Thunderball, the first thing I did was look it up in the dictionary. So I scratched my head and used it as a code word, he strikes like Thunderball. Because, he looked it up in the dictionary and wow, it wasn't there. So now what?"
And he says, "I thought the opening line that we came up with was good. He always runs while others walk. So I just kept going like that. And when I wrote it, I just kept two things in my mind, James Bond and Shirley Bassey." Let me ask you guys this. When you see these lyrics, do you see Largo in here at all?
No.
I've always assumed it was about Largo because you're repeating the success of Goldfinger, and Goldfinger was obviously about the villain, so let's do another one about the villain. But some of the lyrics don't seem very Bondy to me. He knows the meanings of success. His needs are more, so he gives less. That could be Bond, definitely. He looks at this world and wants it all. Then he strikes like Thunderball. Wanting the world doesn't seem like a Bond thing to me. That seems like a villain thing to me.
How can you say that?
But the Bond family crest is the world is not enough.
Right.
That's very true. Okay, I'm going to backtrack on that one. You make a good point. But does he want the world? The world is not enough. Yeah, fair enough. Any woman he wants, he'll get.
That's Bond.
He'll break any heart without regret. Yeah, that could be Bond. It's certainly somebody who needs to have some training in sexual politics, I'd say. His days of asking are all gone. Again, you definitely need to go to a tribunal or something, a seminar at least, if that's your attitude. His days of asking are all gone. His fight goes on and on and on, which is a nice little precursor to the underwater sequences, which do go on and on.
Oh, ouch. Ouch.
But I've always taken from the lyrics that it's more to do with Largo than Bond, but it's sort of ambiguous, isn't it?
I guess it is. I've always seen it as Bond.
Same here.
The thing that has been the flaw in my idea that this song was about Bond is really the first three words. He always runs, because Bond is too cool for me to visualize him really running anywhere. He's going to look cool, take his time, and still get there in time.
If he needs to run, he'll put a jetpack on and fly. That would be the
yeah,
exactly.
Oh, now see, I just see that as him being described as a man of action.
Mm-hmm.
He's always on the go. He's always doing something, and he's always doing it, with great urgency. I don't see that as a flaw.
Okay.
And I have always thought that this was about James Bond. I've never, ever thought it was about the villain, even though, as Robbie so adeptly points out, the last song was all about the villain. The last theme song was about the villain, but I've never... Well, because that guy's name was Goldfinger. There's nobody in the film named Thunderball. It's an operation, right? It's not a name of a guy.
I'm looking at the lyrics here. I just love that line. And he strikes like Thunderball. It's so meaningless.
Yeah. Oh, it is. Yeah.
But I think it sounds great when TJ sings it.
Yeah.
The thing is, to me, Thunderball is a nonsense word, but it's come to mean a big explosion for me. I don't know if that's just because I've looked at the posters for Thunderball too much, but a Thunderball to me is like a big ball of fire that's been caused by an explosion. That's what it means to me now.
Yeah.
And also over here, it's to do with the National Lottery, but let's not get into that. But yeah.
Oh, really?
They've kind of adopted Thunderball as this like special bonus ball that happens after the lotto numbers. But...
No way. Are you serious?
That's hilarious.
Absolutely.
Oh,
I'm surprised there isn't a lawsuit about that one. That should be the next thing. Kevin
Oh my God. I never knew that.
Where's Kevin McClory now with this lawsuit? Jeez. That's funny.
Here in the US, we have Powerball.
That's right.
That sounds better. Yeah.
Like Powerball. The lyrics are very funny. And Barry did have something to say about them in an interview with NPR. I don't think anybody really analyzed what the hell he was singing about. And I still don't know what the song is about to this day. But we were given that problem and we had to live with it.
So, Sarah, I don't understand where this fits into the timeline. Maybe Robbie can also shed some light on this. But I know that you've been going around the house for the past 24 hours just cackling cryptically about a Johnny Cash version of Thunderball.
Uh-huh.
There's a rumble in the sky and all the world can hear it call. They shut shudder at the fury of the mighty Thunderball.
Yeah. So, Robbie, do you know about this?
I do. I was listening to it just the other day.
Oh, fantastic. Yeah. So Johnny Cash, as among millions of other people, was also a really big fan of the Bond films. And he decided that he wanted to try his hand at writing a Bond theme or singing a Bond theme. And so in May of 1965, he sent in a song for consideration as the theme song to Thunderball. Don't know exactly if he wrote it himself. He wasn't generally the lyricist at that time. It's an interesting little song, but it's more about the movie itself, the plot of the movie.
Did he steal a script? How did the information get leaked to him?
The movie is
He might have read the book.
Oh, yeah. I forgot about books.
I was like, I think this one is pretty much based on the book. Unlike the later films, this one still had a pretty good toehold in the Ian Fleming novel.
That's true. I forgot all about Ian Fleming, guys.
Yeah.
I did. I legitimately
all
did.
All right. You're going to be kicked out of your own podcast if you say that again. Yeah. So he sent this song in, and of course, it's a good song, but Eon rejected it because it's a Western, country Western type song. And, it would be great for a country Western movie, but it's not good for James Bond.
Even if the film itself had been sort of based in the American West or something, it might have worked. Diamonds Are Forever is in Vegas mostly. So maybe for that one, it would have been better. But when you're dealing with a film that's underwater, it's very bizarre to have a kind of country and Western sound.
Yeah. So I have some of the lyrics here. Actually, I have all of them, but I won't read them all. But it starts off and it's very ominous and foreboding. There's a rumble in the sky and all the world can hear it call. They shudder at the fury of the mighty Thunderball. The power of her engines now has drowned in the sea, but the deadly force from within her is somewhere running free.
Wow.
So he's using Thunderball to describe the atomic bombs, I guess.
Yeah.
And then the little refrain that he has is, Thunderball, your fiery breath can burn the coldest man, and who is going to suffer from the power in your hand? So it's like Thunderball's the bomb, which is pretty good.
The bomb, yeah.
Yeah, right. Thunderball's the bomb.
The bomb,
yeah.
D-A.
Yeah.
It's actually a neat idea. It just, the sound of that song just doesn't work at all.
But it's a shame we didn't get that. I mean, I think if it had happened later in the series, there might have been room for a new sound or do something a bit experimental with the theme song. As it was, this is the 4th official movie. I think they just wanted to stick to a template they knew would work. And
absolutely,
Johnny Cash isn't going to deliver that, I don't think. He's no Bassey.
Right.
No.
As of this point, I mean, the Bond theme responsibility was John Barry's. It's not like decades down the line when pop artists run over each other to submit theme song ideas. Like, I wonder why Johnny Cash just thought I can send them a song and submit it and they'll pick it. There was no call for theme songs for Bond movies at that point in time.
Not as far as I know. And yeah, I think Barry basically had carte blanche to whoever he thought would suit his songs, which is probably the better way to do it rather than submit something just randomly. But maybe Johnny was a fan of the book or, I don't know, fan of the previous films, just thought he'd just have a go.
Yeah, I mean, he certainly had done movie theme songs before, movie songs. So I guess he thought, well, there's a precedent in that regard. And I don't know how he ever came about those jobs. It's not like he was some unknown guy just sending him in a song. He had a bit of a history.
Well, anyway, his song is not used.
Nope.
They go with TJ's version. I call Tom Jones TJ, Robbie, in case you haven't noticed, because I like to imagine that he and I are buddies. I've seen him in concert like 6 or 7 times. I'm wearing a Tom Jones shirt right now from one of those concerts. I'm a big fan of TJ.
Amazing.
So
how big is Tom Jones over there? I mean, obviously you know about him. From It's Not Unusual back in the day. Is he still like on the radar over there? Is he any of his music from the 70s or the 80s get into the charts over there?
I'm glad you brought this up because I did want to talk to you about this. Here in the U.S., TJ is sort of like a Vegas act.
Oh, yeah.
And
he has played at least 1 week in Vegas every year. And I think he did that up until 2011. Every year he had spent at least a week in Vegas. He's kind of cut back on that now, seeing as how he's 80 years old. But
yeah, and he was also trying to get away from it even before he got that old. I think his son took over a lot of responsibilities for managing him.
Correct.
And together they came up with this plan. Like, you've got to stop trying to get the women to throw their underwear on stage and get away from that. And as I'm sure you know, he quit dyeing his hair, so he went gray. And I'm not sure how much songwriting he actually does, but he is listed as songwriters on some of his songs, and sometimes he's listed as the only songwriter on some songs, which I thought was cool. Like, after so many years to finally get involved with songwriting. But like here on the charts, I don't think he ever bothered the top 100 chart after Art of Noise.
Kiss.
I think that's probably the last time he ever had a top 100 hit.
Yeah, I don't remember if I only knew from.
It didn't make top 40.
Okay, but it got a lot of hype. And then Tom Jones International was another one that kind of brought him back into the forefront because he started working with younger artists and kind of collaborating with them. He did that whole album with.
He did an album called Reload, but here in the US, Reload is actually just a compilation of his greatest hits.
Oh.
In the UK, Reload is an album of new material where he pretty much, it's a duet with younger artists on every song. And it was actually a pretty big hit.
Yeah. He's done very well at staying semi-relevant by collaborating with new artists, over the decades. So I was just interested to know if that translated over there, if you actually got any of that stuff. But it sounds like you did with Kiss, at least the Art of Noise. That one was a big hit over here too.
I think over there, he's more highly regarded than here. I think because of the Vegas connection, it's kind of a ha-ha thing here.
But if he's playing Vegas, then he must be a name. He's at least a known entity, and people would go, "Oh wow, I'll go and see him."
Oh, for sure.
So he's still got a name for himself. Over here, he's pretty much a national treasure now. He's been on the pop landscape for 6 decades, and he's still going strong. He's one of the judges on The Voice over here.
Right.
He's in the spinny chair. So he's been doing that since that launched over here. And for that reason alone, he's a household name because people tune in to see him every weekend.
Okay, that's cool. They just released a big box set of like his first 15 albums on CD. And I have so many of them on vinyl that I can't see rebuying it. But I think that's cool. They're bringing that back for people that want to revisit those songs.
If you're ever doing karaoke, this is a good tip for you.
All right.
If you ever are forced into doing karaoke and you don't want to be up there too long, you just want to get in, sing the song and sit back down again. Okay. The best song to choose is It's Not Unusual. A, because everyone loves that song. B, it lasts 1 minute 58 seconds.
Oh wow!
Really short.
Wow!
The amount of time you actually have to spend singing is limited, and I recommend you do. It's Not Unusual if you ever need to under duress.
Now, so I have to ask: is that something you know from personal experience?
I do. If I'm ever asked to do karaoke, my go-to is Diamonds Are Forever. I don't know why, because that's actually quite a tough one to do. But nevertheless,
very impressive.
Give me some credit for trying at least.
Oh yeah,
definitely.
Well, you don't know Brian well enough to know that he is not going to take a short amount of time up at the karaoke mic. He will be happy to sing a much longer song. Now, not as long as American Pie, but
like when you said if you're ever under duress and forced to do karaoke, that concept is totally foreign to me. I'm all about it.
He is indeed. We look forward.
You want the album version of Left to Their Own Devices.
Right.
Exactly.
Oh my gosh, we just played that yesterday.
I've got another Tom Jones fact for you.
Good.
Lay it on us.
You might know already, but did you know he's in Mars Attacks?
Oh yeah.
The movie?
Oh yeah.
He plays himself. Yeah, he plays himself as a kind of Vegas singer in that, which makes perfect
That's right.
sense.
Yep. And there's a Bond connection to that movie as well.
Of course, Pierce Brosnan as well is in that. Everything comes full circle.
It does.
I forgot he was in that actually. We just saw that last night on HBO Max.
Oh, as a choice,
really?
Yeah. And we should have watched it.
Because you said it out loud as I was scrolling through them.
Yeah, that's a goofy movie.
TJ gets picked because he had 2 big hits, the ones we mentioned, It's Not Unusual and What's New Pussycat. They had both been top 10 hits that year. And Don Black was extremely pleased with the choice to get TJ to do it. I knew of Tom Jones for most of my life, but I didn't really know any of his songs until I got into the Bond music. And it quickly became one of my favorites. So I started buying all those. The reason I have all those old records is because I used to go to this thrift shop by our house. And I ended up buying like 10 or 12 different old records, which my friends and my parents thought was hilarious that I was listening to Tom Jones. They just couldn't understand it. My love of TJ was sort of reinforced by this album that he brought out not too long after I got into the Bond music, which was called The Lead and How to Swing It. Another attempt of him working with modern artists. Tori Amos is on it and the Wolfgang Press. And he also does like a remake of Situation, the Yazoo song.
Blue eyed dress for every situation. Moving to the doorway of the nation. Pick me up and shake the doubt. Baby, I can't do without. Move out. Don't mess around. Move out. You bring me down. Move out. How'd you get about? Don't make a sound. Just move out.
In
what sort of style? In a bluesy style or what?
No, like a modern
like a
dance. Yeah.
Oh, good.
It's really fun. Yeah, it's not blues.
Yeah, that sounds great.
No. Because of the fact that he was doing a song by Vince Clarke from Yaz and Erasure, I was like, oh yeah, I love Tom Jones. So So I was all in on TJ. I've loved him ever since. But my favorite story about Tom Jones in this song is that note at the end.
Oh, yeah.
These early Bond songs, there's always something like a quirky fact to the story of the songs, like the Shirley Bassey song.
Yeah. She just take off her.
She had to take off her brassiere, take off her bra to hit that note. And Nancy Sinatra, I think it's interesting that she had to do like 25 takes of it to piece together like a take that was usable.
Like
the song is good. The song is good, but she wasn't the world's greatest vocalist. Tom Jones, of course, had his story with that long note at the end. It's a 9-second high note.
Yeah.
And based on what you read, some people say he passed out at the end of it. He really didn't.
No.
I think, Sarah, you have a pretty good description of it in your notes.
Yeah. He said, I was thrilled to bits when they asked me to do Thunderball. I thought, oh my God, a song for James Bond film. The most memorable thing about the session was hitting that high note at the end. John told me to hold on to this very high note for as long as possible. Boy, that sounds familiar. I hit it, but I had to hold on to the wall of the sound booth to steady myself in case I fell down. Thank God I didn't. I knocked off the recording pretty quickly. I think John and I became very good friends simply because he didn't have to spend long on my part.
And I saw him say, it may have been in the John Burlingame book, he did say that he was lightheaded, like at the end of it. He did get lightheaded, but he didn't pass out.
So I've read that when he has to perform it now, he changes the key of the song so that he doesn't end up struggling with that last note now. He's in a different key just because but if he tries to go for it, he will end up collapsing on stage every single time.
We don't want to see that.
I did just watch a performance from not too long ago. I think it was like at a show for the 50th anniversary of Bond, and he came out and performed it, and it was in a lower key, but he still sounded really good. He did a good job. I saw a really funny comment online somewhere. It might have been on Songfacts or All Music. This was just like a user who commented on the page, but it cracked me up. He or she said, the great John Barry managed to write around the word Thunderball, but 18 years later, the word Octopussy defeated him.
Yeah, understandably so. Don't look that one up in the dictionary.
The only thing that rhymes with Octopussy is Debussy, and that's not going to be useful to anybody.
Well,
yeah, right.
Yeah, even Pet Shop Boys, who used that word in their song, didn't try to make it rhyme.
So, guys, this is the time where Mr. Kiss Kiss Bang Bang rears his head again. With a new theme recorded the very next day, the day after Tom Jones records the vocal for Thunderball, Barry goes into the studio with Shirley Bassey to record a version of Mr. Kiss Kiss Bang Bang.
He's suave and he's smooth, and he can soothe you like vanilla. The gentleman's a killer, Mr. Kiss Kiss Bang Bang. Damoiselles in danger have filled the stranger's past.
I cannot find anything. It's not in my book. I couldn't find it online. I don't know why the interest in the Dionne Warwick version was just dropped. Do you know, Robbie or Sarah?
I don't. And it seems strange that they would do that when A, the melody of the song is still in the film and score,
right?
And B, it's just a good song. They've got that in their intellectual property. Why would you not market it? Why would you not use it?
Yeah, I didn't see anything that explained why Shirley Bassey also recorded a version of this song.
Barry is working at the same time to incorporate the Thunderball music into the score because it was important to him to relate theme song to the music in the film. I guess it's because of the Goldfinger connection, maybe, that they went to her. It was sort of big news in the industry. Like, hey, they're working with Shirley Bassey again.
Yeah.
This is big Bond news. But then Eon decides to drop the song a second time. The powers that be were unimpressed by her vocal performance. Shirley Bassey.
Really?
Yeah. Which to my ear is less impressive than Dionne Warwick's. And it doesn't help that she doesn't pronounce the G in bang. She does sing Mr. Kiss Kiss Ban Ban.
Oh.
Like the whole way through the song. So like Robbie said, she does take Eon to court and she insists that the song be reinstated in the film and that she receive a screen credit. And I love Albert Broccoli's response. He said we could do that. He explained, though, quote, it might actually damage her reputation because the recording was artistically unmeritorious, end quote.
Oh, wow.
That's what he put in some legal document that was a response to her case. He also said, not as part of that document, but he did say that the arrangement of the song and her performance conflicted with the whimsical ending of the film.
Wow, Mr. Broccoli, I believe that would be called throwing shade at this point in time. Wow.
That is a sick burn.
Uh-huh.
Eventually they settle out of court. The two parties settle out of court, and I have no idea what the settlement was. But, poor Dionne Warwick, I think it's a much better recording. The only thing that I think is better about the Shirley Bassey version is in the bridge of the song, what I'm calling the bridge, the Damoiselles in Danger, that part. there's this very film noir sounding
Ooh.
horn or saxophone or something. I'm not sure what instrument it is, but it has this sound that makes you think of like Los Angeles in the late 40s with a gumshoe detective. That same sound can be heard in Thunderball. That's the only thing better about it, because her singing is just not as good as Dionne's, in my opinion.
Oh, yeah. Yeah, I agree. It's remarkable, really, that she was asked back, or at least came back 2 more times to do 2 more themes after essentially suing the producers. You know, you'd think that would be the end of any working relationship, but obviously they wanted her back and she was happy to do it.
Yeah, I know. John Burlingame's book does say something like, as long as her manager was alive, that was never going to happen, but he died shortly before Diamonds Are Forever. So because of that, they were able to work out the deal. I guess he was more upset about it than she was, which is strange, but
Maybe he got a bigger cut.
maybe.
The horns to the beginning of the Dionne Warwick version are so great. I think that after you've had Bond flying off on his jetpack, which is what happens just before the titles come up, those blasts of horns when Mr. Kiss Kiss Bang Bang starts, da-da-da-da, da-da-da-da, it's really strong. More so than I would say the Thunderball one, which still has a da-da-da-da-da-da. That's still a very strong opening, but it's not as triumphant to me as the Dionne Warwick version.
I think that when you hear the Thunderball opening, you can tell more easily that they're just trying to replicate Goldfinger than you can with Mr. Kiss Kiss Bang Bang. I think you're more apt to think they're copying themselves with Thunderball, if that makes sense.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah.
If Barry was having to do this at the last minute, you know, fair enough. That's probably what I'd do. I'd just try and skim what I could from Goldfinger and use that instead.
Yeah. I had some notes somewhere and I don't see them here, but it was like Goldfinger on steroids. That was kind of the point. Yeah.
Yeah.
Just a bigger, brassier version of Goldfinger.
Do you guys, are you aware of any cool covers of Thunderball?
I know of one.
Well, yeah, I was going to say, I bet you guys are aware of the Martin Fry version.
Definitely.
Which is on David Arnold's Shaken and Stirred release from 96, 97.
Yep, 97.
Yeah, I guess I can take it or leave it because I'm not a fan of the song itself. I'm quite hesitant to sort of, you know, invest into it. But yeah, Martin does a great job with it, and he's got a similar tone to his voice as Tom Jones. So it's I really like that. So I think we got through a pretty good discussion of Thunderball. Let's just talk about our own thoughts on this song, what we think about it.
I'll go first because I'm probably the least controversial and I want you guys to be able to spar. I like this song. I've known it for a long time, I think. You know, it feels like it's just been a part of my music catalog forever just because we used to see these movies on TV a lot. I think this is a movie I saw multiple times just for that reason. It was on the television.
The ABC Saturday Night Movie or something like that. Yeah.
Right. So I think it's fun. I think obviously Tom Jones does a wonderful job delivering with the swagger that you need for a Bond movie in this era. I don't have any complaints about the song. Next
up, we have Mr. Robbie Sims, author of Quantum of Silliness. Robbie, what do you think about Thunderball?
Well, I think it suffers in comparison to the Dionne Warwick composition. If Thunderball just existed as a song and there wasn't any other option, maybe I'd be easier on it. But because I feel there's a better version out there, a better option, the Tom Jones version to me suffers in comparison. It's a bit, I don't want to use the word dirge because it's not that bad, but it doesn't have the oomph that certainly Goldfinger has. And even that last note that he, you know, nearly expired trying to sing, when you hear it, I don't get that energy from him. When you hear the end of Goldfinger, it does sound like she's taken her bra off and is swinging it around her head. You know, it sounds amazingly as an end note. Whereas the end of Thunderball, I've kind of tuned out by that point, to be honest. The melody doesn't do much for me. Yeah, it does strike me as something that they've had to turn around at the last minute. And it's a bit of a, will this do? Which is scathing. But compared to at least a lot of the early Bond themes, which are so iconic, this one suffers in comparison, particularly being between Goldfinger, amazing, and You Only Live Twice, also amazing. So for me, this is a bit more of a miss than a hit.
If you want to hear a James Bond dirge, you said you hesitate to call this a dirge. I don't think there's anywhere near as dirge-like as Writing Is on the Wall.
True. Writing's on the Wall, the end song from GoldenEye, which is called The Experience of Loving.
Experience of Love, yeah.
Oh, brother.
That's a dirge. That is
Yeah.
a dirge. So yeah, I'm not putting it in with those guys. I'm just saying it. For me personally, the song comes quite low down. And if we were at karaoke, it certainly wouldn't be on my top 15 at least.
You know what? Whenever this whole COVID thing is done with, we need to all get together and just do an all James Bond karaoke night.
Oh, great.
Just rent out some pub somewhere.
Going to do the talking bits in Die Another Day. I'm just going to do the talking bits in Die Another Day. Is that okay?
Too funny.
That's my range.
All right. So I would say, as is true with all the music in this film, I love the drama that I think you can hear in this music. You know, I said before, I think that this song is pretty obviously cut from the same cloth as Goldfinger, but I actually like this song quite a bit more than I like Goldfinger. Like I said, I just did my rankings to get ready for this podcast, and I think there's 5 or 6 songs between Thunderball and Goldfinger on my list.
Wow.
With the next film, John Barry's going to leave that formula behind. You Only Live Twice sounds nothing like this, which is great. But for now, you know, he's holding on to this Bond sound. And I think Tom Jones does an amazing job with the vocal. They got it done quickly, but I think he was perfectly cast for this one. I do love this song for another reason as well. I love this song because this is one of the 4 James Bond songs that Sarah and I have been able to see in concert performed live by the original artist. I'm trying to collect James Bond songs live. So I've only managed to collect 4 of them. This was the first one that we've come to, Tom Jones. I remember being so excited sitting in the theater, and I was like fist pumping, and I was like, oh my God, Thunderball, Thunderball. So I got to put that in my collections. So I ended up putting this one at number 9 on my ranking of Bond songs, which may not sound all that high, but when I look at my list, I love the first 12 songs on my list. I think they're all amazing songs. So I do love this song. It just happens to fall at number 9. I feel like I could listen to this song like 10 times in a row and be completely excited about it and happy, even as you hit play on the 10th one. So I really dig it.
Yeah. And you're saying you prefer it to Goldfinger. I wonder if the general public would feel that way, because Goldfinger is such a recognizable song. It's kind of, you know, a definite classic. I think if you challenged a lot of random people to sort of sing Thunderball, they wouldn't know it. It's not as recognizable or as iconic. So it's good that you're championing.
Oh, thank you. Thank you. I do agree with you. I would never argue that point with you. That Goldfinger, I think, is way more part of our
pop culture.
lexicon than Thunderball. We want to thank Robbie Sims for joining us today, making time to talk with us. He, of course, like we said, is the author behind the hilarious book, Quantum of Silliness, The Peculiar World of Bond, James Bond, which you can get at your local bookstore. You can get it on Amazon, on any online bookstores that you like shopping at. So go get it. It's great. It should have been in your Christmas stocking, but it's a hilarious book, especially if you're a Bond fan. And one of the things we did last time when Robbie was here, we said, Rob, we're going to let you go. But first, you have to prove your Bond knowledge by answering 4 questions from the reel-to-reel picture show James Bond 007 movie trivia game, the game with the longest title in the world. So we can't let him go without putting him to the test again. Last time, he scored 6 points out of a possible 4.
Oh, my Lord. Yeah, 150%.
Yes, you did. So I don't know if you'll be able to do that again, but we're going to randomly select a card like last time. I'll tell you what the category is, and Sarah will read you the question. Are you ready for this?
Fantastic. I embraced. Yeah.
All right.
All right, Sarah, do you have a card?
I do. I pulled one out without looking at it, and I'm just looking at it right now.
So, Robbie, your category here is Bond basics, beauties, baddies, and props.
Okay. It's a shame they spoiled the alliteration at the end there, but that's
yeah, I know.
Exactly what I was about to say. Okay. The question is, George Lazenby in On Her Majesty's Secret Service, in what country does he ski?
Oh, okay. Well, I shouldn't overthink this. My initial reaction is to say Switzerland.
I think you should
But he
just
could be
go
going
with your
down.
gut.
Yeah, he could be. It depends on what side of the mountain he's going down. You know, he could be crossing over into Austria at all points. We just don't know.
Remember,
but I'm going to say
this is
Switzerland.
Bond
yes.
basics. This is
Let's not overthink it, Robbie.
Yes.
Yeah, Switzerland, please.
Okay. Ding, 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 ding.
All right, 1 point, Robbie. Now, your next question is from the category Sean Connery in George Lazenby Bond films.
Does Kronstein's chess match take place in Venice or Paris in From Russia with Love?
Ooh, so it's a 50-50, which is already helping me, but I still might get this wrong. So a lot of the Venice does feature in From Russia with Love at the end, but I wonder where they are for the chess match. I'm going to say Paris.
Ooh,
Oh, no. Don't tell me.
Oh no.
it's Venice. The answer is Venice.
Oh, no.
Wow.
Well,
Sorry.
if you want to, you can transfer over some of those extra points from last time for this time.
Yeah,
to
can
even
I
out your
roll
score.
those? Yeah.
Yeah.
Let's take that 50% from last time and stick those in here somehow.
I don't know if you'd want the bonus question on that category or not. That might be a little
If it's
much.
about chess, no.
It is. Okay. All right. We'll skip to the next one then.
All right, then your next question is from the category Roger Moore, Timothy Dalton, and Pierce Brosnan Bond films.
The question is, what large fish is Bond disguised as when he approaches Crest's boat underwater and licensed to kill?
Ah, I know this. This is a manta ray, I believe they're called.
Manta ray is correct. Ding, ding, ding.
Yeah.
Very good, very
Very
good.
good.
2 points out of a possible 3.
Okay.
And for your last question, your last category is extras, stars, credits, ballads, music, and words.
Okay. That's quite a mix.
So it's a potpourri. Any possible choice. I don't think you're going to have any problem with this. It's true or false. Bond stars, true or false. Honor Blackman played James Bond's love interest in Dr. No.
That would be a falsehood.
I'm embarrassed that we even picked that card.
I am too. That's
Well, hey, look, I
terrible.
didn't get the chess one. Yeah, I'm just to elaborate. She's the love interest in Goldfinger, and how interested she is in love is up for debate because she doesn't seem too keen on Bond for most of it. But hey,
Yeah, good point.
Right. Can you name the first love interest in Dr. No?
well, yeah,
Well,
the
the
leading
main
lady
one.
is Ursula Andress playing Honey Rider, but the first woman we see is Sylvia Trench, who's actually Bond's girlfriend in the first two films,
Right.
and then gets
Yeah,
kind
and
of
then
forgotten
she
about.
just disappears then.
I guess because she's got wind of the fact that Bond cannot keep it in his trousers and will sleep with anybody who comes across his path. So she's out of there, which is absolutely understandable.
Yeah. Yeah.
Well, you got 3 out of 4. Not as great as
I'm-
last time, but you still respectable.
Yeah. Look, I'm going to come back again and try and reclaim the full score, but I'm okay with this.
That would be awesome. We would
All
love
right.
to have you back then.
yeah, it's been a lot
Well,
of fun.
thank you so much for having me.
Our pleasure. We're so happy you were able to make time to join us as we talked about a song you didn't even like.
I'm going to drone on so much when we get to A View to a Kill. It's unbelievable.
So thanks again, Robbie. We really appreciate you joining us, and we hope everybody picks up Quantum of Silliness because we love the book. We both read it. We both loved it. Thought it was hilarious. Happy New Year to you, and thanks for joining us.
Thank you so much. Happy New Year to you. I've had a blast. I've had a Thunderball blast with you. Thank you.
Golden wants it all. So he strikes like thunderball. He knows the meaning of success. His needs are more, so he gives less. They call him the winner who takes all. And he strikes